Hey now, this definitely isn't your typical dinner conversation, but I like it.
I am not kidding. So let me tell you, if you are not a conspiracy theorist by now, it's because you are not intelligent. I am not.
Definitely not light conversation, as of course, conspiracy theories are definitely becoming more popular than ever. Some people say that's a negative thing, some people say that's a positive thing, as right now, some people are making some very interesting predictions that people are saying have actually come true. All of this is happening as there's a major war of words inside of the right wing, as new video footage came out from the Daily Wire with their discussion about letting go of Candace Owens. All of this as David Icke now has come out with his theories about what just happened in Australia, as Alex Jones now is warning about a beyond critical intel, talking about how the Muslim Brotherhood could soon stage attacks inside of the United States. Is that actually what's going on here? As the FBI just allegedly foiled another credible plot that was supposed to be done by pro-Palestinian extremist groups on New Year's Eve in California. What's really going on here? As of course, depending on where you are in the conspiracy spectrum, you're going to take this story in multiple different ways and directions. We're going to be talking about that and a lot more all here on this independent media broadcast, our second brand new channel. And if you appreciate these type of conversations, subscribe. We definitely appreciate this new channel doing as well as it is, predominantly because of your viewership, and we can't thank you guys enough for that. Now, GG33 released this message on December 12th, saying December 13th or 17th, possible war/false flag. You were warned, as people are comparing it to the Candace Owens tweet that happened on November 27th, predicting and signaling that there would be a terror attack in the second week of December. As on the 13th, we of course had the horrible events at Brown University, and then the next day, on December 14th, we had the horrible events that unfolded in Australia, as Toad came out and says, I love how on Wednesday people were using this tweet to trash Candace. Now, after two major events later, where are all these people? As some people love her, some people hate her. As right now, Stephen Crowder actually released a video of the Daily Wire describing how they were moving away from Candace Owens, as a lot of people are responding to this in also very interesting ways, depending on where you are in this type of MAGA civil war. As Candace Owens responded to this 18-plus minute video by saying, quote, "This is genuinely shocking. I had obviously heard about this town hall, but seeing it is an entirely different thing. I want to point this out. Jeremy Boring is clear here that Ben felt that my tweeting Christ is King alongside biblical scripture was aimed at him. The fact is that I tweeted scripture from the Gospel of Matthew entirely by itself. It had absolutely nothing to do with Ben or any other Jewish person for this matter. When Jeremy asked me to apologize for how someone else felt about biblical scripture, I refused to do so. Apologizing for something you didn't do makes you weaker. Apologizing for your faith because you are scared to lose income makes you a coward. This production level town hall is obviously what came next. Jeremy always had a flair for the dramatic. With Jeremy Boring no longer at the helm, the Daily Wire has moved in a different direction, and there is, in my honest opinion, better management, and by all accounts, the employees are much happier. If I could go back, I would, quote, change nothing. Christ is king. Stephen Crowder released a video saying, this is why I don't play this, quote, game. Now, Andrew Clevin, who is at the Daily Wire, responded, I think Jeremy made a disgusting display of moral courage and personal integrity. He should apologize to his opponents for making them feel bad about themselves. Of course, he tried to reverse Uno card here. Responding to Candace is Ian Miles Chung saying, you are a liar. You do this all the time. Say one thing and then claim you never said it and were delusional for, quote, reading into it, as some people there are supporting her, some people are not. Andy Nog also says, I think Jeremy was very careful in his words and actually extended a lot of grace to her. God bless, quote, Jeremy Boring. Joel Berry says, and Ron Coleman says, what game? Accountability? Question mark. And again, the two are divided on this particular matter. And now comes into the larger focus of what just happened in Australia, as we have two different prevailing conspiracy thoughts here. Just like on one end you have Candace Owens and then you have the Daily Wire, and then the two are kind of battling at each other. The same kind of comes, which what I call a COINTELPRO divide and conquer style attack, between David Icke and Alex Jones. Now, David Icke came out with a very interesting video saying what really happened at Bondi Beach and why. Alex Jones came out with a different video from a different perspective saying, warning, there's going to be more Islamic attacks in the United States. Which one is right? As allegedly there was an Islamic attack already stopped that was supposed to happen in California. Which one is the more kind of credible one to talk about? Well, we're going to listen and talk about both of them. Before we do, just really quickly and shortly, we wanted to remind you about wearechange.shop. I got some really great, incredible products available to you that I personally source, that I personally take, that I personally give to all my loved ones, including my own mother. Now, Dr. Eric Berg, he has no association to us. We have no deal with him, but he tweeted something. Best tips for longevity and healthy living. And number one on that list is increasing vitamin D for immune function. That's what I just started doing recently. I wasn't taking vitamin D for a while because we were waiting for our own personal blend. It's our own personal blend because I haven't seen this product anywhere else. It has extra virgin olive oil inside of it, along with D3 and K2. I was going through my friend's supplement bin yesterday, and they had vitamin D. And I was like, where's the K2? Do you understand you're actually hurting yourself by doing that? What are you doing? And then, of course, I lecture them. And then they have a lot of other type of things that they recommend. Another thing that they recommend is increase omega-3 fatty acids in order to, quote, prevent inflammation. Also, something we have available, our number one best-selling supplement right now is our essential fatty fish oil made from small fish like sardines. That's number 11 on his list. The other stuff I agree with a lot, and he talks about fasting. Fasting's not that good for women as number 3. Cold therapy, not for people who have thyroid issues. So just be careful. Do your own homework and research. But some people actually love it. Winhoff loves it. I did it for a little bit, but for my own personal needs, I've personally just stopped doing it. And then also, where is it on the list here? Number 15, increase magnesium to support the mitochondria. As of course, we also have magnesium available in our SunForce bundle, which you could get with our vitamin D. And we have it available just by itself. We do it a bundle because you want to take the vitamin D during the first kind of meal of your day, essentially with fat, extra fat. And then you want to take the magnesium with the last meal of your day. And if you could push that window as further away from your sleep schedule, the better your sleep is, the longer you have with an empty stomach, an empty bladder, so your system doesn't have to process all this stuff. Like night drinking, I think is absolutely insane. You just like keep crushing all these like alcoholic toxins and like Red Bulls and sugars and things that like and your body's trying to rest and relax and just trying to break down all these like horrible chemicals. If you're gonna drink, don't. But if you are, do day drinking. I never thought I would say that, but that's actually a lot better than night drinking. Anyway, that's my rant. wearechange.shop. Check it out. Support yourself. Support your own individual health journey here. Now, let's get to David Icke here, who had this to say. And I watched this entire video. And he kind of raises questions and then goes into how he suspects that what happened in Australia was a problem reaction solution dialectic. And then he asks who benefits from it.
Terrorists for it. And you say that it was orchestrated by Osama bin Laden, who is being protected by the Taliban in Afghanistan. And so you say, well, that's the problem. The reaction, understandable reaction, 9/11, do something. You then offer the solution, which was the invasion of Afghanistan followed by the invasions of other Middle Eastern countries. And I say this now in response to what has happened in Bondi Beach.
Now, so far, what happened in Australia, there are some pressing questions, specifically how a 24-year-old Muslim who allegedly also was known to the government in being affiliated with radical Islamists, how was he able to possess 6 firearms in a place that's very difficult to own firearms, as well as larger questions about activists and journalists and right-wing pundits being denied entry into Australia, while, of course, they scream diversity is our strength and try to import migrants into their country at the same time. One of the attackers was an immigrant to Australia, and then it was the father, and then the son was the one who committed this act. And even though we have these questions, we don't really, to give you proof here, David Icke hasn't really presented any kind of evidence other than saying, well, this stuff happened in the past, it could happen now. And then he brings up who benefits here, and he clearly has one government that he says in the Middle East profits off of this, therefore you have to question it. Therefore, there's a possibility of something nefarious. Now, do we have any kind of legitimate, solid proof evidence that there was some kind of conspiracy here? No, I think the only pressing question is this one for now, as well as the police stand down, which I think needs to be answered. And all of those officers that stood down, that the government told would protect them, need to answer to why they stood down for as long as they did. There's multiple different timelines on them. Some of them say 10 minutes, some say 20 minutes, some say 30 minutes. Why did it take so long to respond from all of this, and how was this person able to carry out what he did? And I think unless we get into those questions, it's your best bet to be skeptical, in my own personal opinion. Now, again, do we have proof? No. There's no proof. We do not have solid proof here, as Alex Jones has been warning about the rise of Islamic terrorism, especially here in the United States. As just a couple hours ago, he released this video with Michael Flynn talking about how there are potentially going to be more attacks here domestically inside of the United States made by Islamists.
Yeah, the big threats. Number one, I really do feel like we are facing a potential something that makes 9/11 look like a church, like a small church fire.
This is very urgent business, ladies and gentlemen. I beseech you. Resist it while you still can, and before the right to complain is taken away from you, which will be the next thing. You will be told you can't complain because you're Islamophobic. The term is already being introduced.
What is your duty as a member of the Ummah now that you are also an American? It is our physical jihad duty to fight the entire earth until we enter it into the Ummah.
There's always a safe haven for you under Sharia law.
No, because you said Sharia law on everywhere on earth, so there's not going to be any safe haven for me. If Islam dominates all of earth,
that's the plan, and you
that's
either
the plan.
have
so where would be my safe haven?
In Islam.
But that would be by force then, wouldn't it? If my only safe haven is by Islam, and if I don't go back to Islam, punishment is death.
So there's two choices, Islam or death.
It's the Democrats that are...
Now, who's right here? Is it going to be Alex Jones, who's warning us about Islamic kind of terror threats and some of the radicalized elements of Islam that do believe in these type of horrible, heinous acts, or David Icke, who's saying, no, false flag by the Israeli state to make Muslims look bad? Which one do you think is true? Let me know down in the comment section down below. As of course, there's a reality that we're living in that both could be true as well. But until I see any kind of real concrete evidence and how all of this kind of carries on, until we know more details, until we actually learn exactly how people are benefiting, I'm always skeptical of even skepticism. And I think personally right now there is something afoot here, especially when it comes to the kind of clash of civilizations that is being built up here between the Islamic and Christian world. As far as population demographics, the West is and the Christian world is losing tremendously, and some people believe that there's going to be even far more atrocities and a lot more of a threat and a mistreatment of the new minority group, which is predominantly going to be Christians. That's going to happen, especially with the kind of demographic changes we're seeing in many leftist, liberal, democratic places that are saying, come on in, guys, welcome in.
They're allied with all of this. And remember, they're allied with Iran, and Iran's allied with the Muslim Brotherhood. So it's not that Israel's great wanting to blow up Iran or we want to get in a big war, but you got to know the players. Doesn't mean Iran's good. They're really bad. And so they're allied with the Democrats. They'll be part of the uprising. And then when Trump tries to put troops on the streets to stop it, he's a terrorist, he's illegitimate, and they've got all these operatives in the ranks. They're trying to cause a mutiny. Are you starting to figure this out?
Yeah, definitely one particular viewpoint on this here. As just moments ago, the FBI announced that they stopped and were able to foil a major attack that was supposed to happen on New Year's Eve in California.
Breaking news, 10 minutes past the hour. This news happening out of Los Angeles. The FBI now reports that it's disrupted a planned New Year's Eve terror attack in Los Angeles. 4 suspects in custody, the FBI identifying them as members of a pro-Palestine extremist group. They're suspected of planning coordinated IED attacks targeting 5 different locations in Los Angeles. But
now, of course, this is not the first time pro-Palestinian individuals did commit acts of terrorism, right? And there's been a few already that have happened that do deserve to be talked about in an open, honest way here. Now, is this one legitimate? That's what some people are questioning right now.
But based on the reporting now, that plot has been foiled. We will wait for more out of L.A. or out of Washington, D.C. for what the FBI has to say about that developing story. And
yeah, one of the things that crossed my mind as all of these stories were developing is say a prayer for the first responders, right? The ones who are first on the scene, who have to see some of these horrific things that are hard to unsee, and they help protect people and comfort people by getting the information out there to them as quickly as possible.
They are under a lot of pressure, too, when you hear stories like this.
Yeah, the one with courage, yes. The cowards, like in Uvalde, no. They deserve deep criticism here. Now, looking into this story, these were individuals that self-identified as members of the Turtle Island Liberation Front here. Now, automatically what I'm thinking here is like, how did this story kind of develop here? What really kind of happened here? As the FBI now is talking about surveillance planes that they had that showed 4 of these people going out to the desert to test their, quote, explosive devices. Now, was this coincidental? Did they know? Did they set them up? Did they give them the explosives? Were they mentally ill? Were they kind of propped up to do this? I want to see a lot of the more evidence here before I make any kind of larger judgment call here, since the FBI does have a record of going after mentally ill people, goading them and giving them the hardware that they would never achieve or have on their own in order to carry out these attacks. And then they stop them after being the kind of architects of them. That has happened before. Is that exactly what happened here? I don't know. We're going to wait until the court proceedings, and we're going to find that out. But there's a long history of this, and that's why automatically that's what some people are saying, that this was set up here. And again, this goes into the David Icke, Alex Jones kind of argument. Alex Jones be like, radical Islam is real. They're coming after you. Be careful. David Icke saying, no, it's a false flag meant to stir this division and create this kind of fight here between Muslims and Christians.
And members of this anti-government group traveled out to the desert to test their explosive devices. They had precursor chemicals there, and they were going to create these bombs in the desert. What they are starting to do is put their chemicals and wares and the components out on the table there. This footage that you're watching is from our surveillance plane, and then what happened after this is the Los Angeles FBI SWAT team, along with the FBI's hostage rescue team, moved in and arrested all 4 subjects without incident.
Well, if this is legitimate attack, good. Finally, FBI, if this is legit, incredible. Like, we're going to see the other side of the story here. But let's just for a second, believe the official version of events. If that's true, gun on. the FBI for actually stopping this. As Kash Patel says, over the weekend, the FBI disrupted a credible imminent terrorist threat and arrested 4 individuals connected in the Los Angeles area. The subjects self-identified as members of a radical offshoot of the Turtle Island Liberation Front, an extremist group motivated by pro-Palestinian, anti-law enforcement, and anti-government ideology. They were allegedly planning coordinated IED bombings on New Year's Eve, targeting 5 separate locations across Los Angeles. In the days since, FBI in New Orleans arrested an additional 5th individual believed to be linked to this radical subgroup, also allegedly planning a separate violent attack. Outstanding work by our investigators and law enforcement partners. Their work undoubtedly saved countless of lives. We will hold a press conference later on today. And again, there's a lot of crazy, wild individuals out there. As Tulsi Gabbard's coming out saying, out of 18,000 known or suspected terrorists in our country, there's about 2,000 of them that are, quote, Afghan nationals who entered the United States after Biden's botched withdrawal from Afghanistan. That's a big number there. Yeah. As Tulsi Gabbard was recently on Fox News talking about the terrorists currently here in the United States. Now, what is a false flag? What is not? I mean, again, my spidey, untrustworthy, skeptical senses are kind of going off here. We kind of got to wait till we have more information until we make a more of a definitive type of answer. But until we know, at the same time, we shouldn't be allowing more egregious actions that violate our privacy, violate our freedoms, destroy our Second Amendment rights, or destroy our ability to speak freely. We need debates. We need to be free people. Before jumping to conclusions, I think it's fair to say we need a lot more evidence here. If you agree, share this video. Thank you so much for supporting us on wearechange.shop. I want to be here if it wasn't for you guys doing that, and this is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more, all here exclusively on youtube.com/LukeRadowski76. It's a weird name, but I appreciate you guys watching and supporting this independent media broadcast. Stay tuned for more.